I'm reminding you that what happened. One new teacher has arrived in Rameshwaram, and he really was not able to digest the fact that a Muslim boy is sitting with a Hindu Brahmin priest, Tamil Brahmin priest son. So what did he do? He thought that no, a Muslim boy, he has no right to sit with a Hindu boy, and that's why he asked him to go to backbench. Still, APJ says that when he was writing his biography after many years, he says that I still was not able to forget that moment when I saw my friend crying badly and bitterly. After all, they were kids. Anyway, then they reached to the home. They informed their parents regarding the entire incident, and you know what happened. The secular parents, you can say, or really educated in real sense, that they decided, they called the teacher and they informed them that you are not supposed to bring any kind of social inequality or religious inequality among children. So don't spread this venom or the poison, because we believe in universal brotherhood. Anyway, the teacher, so he asked that either you apologize or you leave the job. But teacher, after all, teacher is teacher. He understood it and he realized his mistake, and thereafter nothing happened. So this was one incident which actually touched his life. Very important part. Now let's move to the next paragraph. I hope all well, children. Audible, visible. Some no problem. Okay. You will raise your hand whenever you have to say something. Fine, I will unmute you. So the teacher, as we all remember, what happened, that the teacher asked sorry for the mistake he had done, and due to Lakshmana Shastri determination, his thoughts about religion and caste changed. So not only teacher said sorry, he genuinely felt sorry. Saying sorry and feeling sorry is two different things. So he was very clear that he simply asked that don't bring any kind of differences in the mind of these innocent children. And so please don't put this venomous discrimination of caste and religion in their innocent mind. Anyway, but that teacher, thereafter, he never did anything wrong. On the whole, the small society of Rameshwaram was very rigid in terms of the segregation of different social groups. However, my science teacher, Siva Subramaniam Iyer, though an orthodox Brahmin with a very conservative vibe, conservative, traditional, was something of a rebel, in opposition, Vidrohi. So now he is saying, on the whole, basically, these families, were genuinely educated and you can say broad-minded people, but the division of society into four groups, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, was strictly followed in Rameshwaram. Maybe they are not doing anything, like religion was not separated, but even Hindu society was separated into four, class. You all know about it. You have read it in history books. So he is quoting one more example, that his science teacher, although the entire place was following these rules, but his science teacher, Siva Subramania Iyer, obviously, so though an orthodox Brahmin with a very conservative vibe, he was an orthodox Brahmin, science teacher, but unfortunately his family was quite orthodox, specifically his conservative vibe. Segregation, separated. So his wife, but he himself was a rebel. That means a rebellious person. Rebellious means he did not believe in the division of the basis of the caste system. He did not believe in the division of religion. Means he was against all these oddities of society. He never felt that even Hindus should be separated into four groups, as well as there should be no discrimination between Hindu or Muslim. So, and science teacher, he was teacher already knowledgeable, as well as science, practical and pragmatic subject. So he did not. Now what happened one day, he did his best to break social barriers so that people from varying backgrounds could mingle easily. He worked very hard to break these social barriers. People were having barriers in their mind that, oh, I'm Brahmin, why will I talk to him? Oh, he's untouchable. You know, untouchability was also a major problem in those days. If you remember, Mahatma Gandhi, he raised his voice against untouchability, and then he brought the entire humanity on the same platform. But still, unfortunately, if you go to some orthodox, you meet some orthodox people, and if you go to some conservative villages, you will see that still this is prevailing in our society. Little bit, I'm not saying maybe 5%, but in those days, 80% people believed in untouchability, and there was a clear difference between Brahmins and Sudras. Okay, they were not allowed to go to temple, they were not allowed to touch the water of the well. So then Mahatma Gandhi, if you ever get an opportunity, read about it. So Mahatma Gandhi, he raised his voice and he started calling them Harijan. Hari means Lord, Bhagwan, Hari Ke Jan. And but still people were not able, ready to, follow these things. They really did not want to, break this barrier. So he did his best. So teachers like Siva Subramania Iyer was very much required in that conservative society. And what did he do? He did his best to break social barriers so that people from different backgrounds, people from Kshatriya, Vaisya, Sudra, Muslim, or maybe any other religion could mingle, could mix up. Mingle here means interact with each other, mix up with each other. And he used to spend hours with me and would say, and he had this, teachers, they have that capability. They can very easily judge the quality of students. I'm also a teacher, and whenever I meet a students, I really come to one conclusion that this fellow has some spark in it, some different. So he is definitely a different kind of student or different kind of a boy or a girl. So perhaps for that reason also, Siva Subramania Iyer, that science teacher, he always had a feeling that this boy is something different. He has some special quality and capability. So not only he wanted people of different caste or religion to interact with each other, but he himself was interacting and spending a lot of time with a Muslim boy. For a teacher, it doesn't matter what is your caste, what is your religion. The only thing matters that your hard work, your integrity, your knowledge, your good behavior. As a teacher, I love those children who are having these qualities, not because I love anyone because he is of this caste or he is of this religion. Similarly, that great teacher Siva Subramania Iyer, science teacher, he always used to spend a good time with APJ Abdul Kalam, and then what he used to say, listen to this line: Kalam, I want you to develop so that you are on par. On par means same level with the highly educated people of the big cities. He saw some spark in the eyes of APJ Abdul Kalam. So he says that I want you to work hard so that you will be able to reach same level as the highly educated people who live in big cities they are having. He always had a teachers. I told you, teachers have a special point of quality, my dear students. They always know, they always feel that yes, this boy or this girl is different from the crowd. भीड़ से अलग, वो एक आंखों में चमक, वो spark, वो एक sincerity. So as a teacher, I also am able to realize. But yes, children or a student like APJ Abdul Kalam is rare. He was a gem. One day, he invited me to his home for a meal. His wife was horrified, scared. Why? Because she was a conservative Tamil Brahmin lady. So she was horrified at the idea of a Muslim boy being invited to dine. To dine means to have full dinner in her ritually pure. See, the meaning of ritually pure is kept protected from all outside influences for the observance of prayer. Even in our kitchens nowadays, you will see that people, in many of the houses, people will not cook non-veg in their kitchen, or maybe you have a special place to make some special kind of food item. So these are the common practices which is happening in our families also. So ritually pure kitchen. You know, some of the Tamil Brahmin families, they don't even use onions and garlic in their meal. They did not include, and non-veg to ghar bilkul hi nahi. But even onions and garlic is not used in their ritually pure kitchen. So they are, and even some vegetables, some special kind of vegetables also they are not eating. So what happened one day? Siva Subramania Iyer, his science teacher, who was very close to APJ Kalam, he invited him to his home for a meal. Okay. Now his wife was horrified since he belonged to a traditional and orthodox Brahmin family, and obviously she followed the religion very strictly and keep her kitchen pure. Means not only she was very strict about cooking different items, but an inferior religion, actually they used to feel, Muslims, that was not, although it was such a shame for humanity, you know, that if you belong to some particular religion, then you are not allowed to do this. Very bad. Thank God things have changed. I'm very happy that I'm born in this era. So he thought that no one from another religion was allowed to enter the kitchen. So she refused to serve me in her kitchen. She refused, you know, in those days, we don't have the dining hall concept or something like that. So whenever, if you had been to your village, you will see that people used to sit on floor and then they are being fed. So she refused to serve me in her kitchen. You know, I cannot allow him, since he belongs to some other religion, I will not allow him to come to my kitchen. Otherwise, what will happen? My kitchen will become impure. What a silly thought she had. But Siva Subramania Iyer was not perturbed. Perturbed means not upset. Nor did he get angry with his wife. He did not. Maybe he thought that, okay, maybe she will not be able to understand. I cannot convince her. In those days, female education was not very common. So maybe perhaps the teacher was knowing that even if he is going to argue with his wife, she is not going to understand, because whatever she has learned from her parents, her mother, that is the only thing she is following. So he decided not to get angry with his wife, but instead serve me with his own hands and sat down beside me to eat his meal. So instead of, you know, arguing with his wife or creating anything in the family or getting upset or angry or shouting and yelling on his wife, he decided, he himself will serve food to APJ and sat down beside him to eat. What a nice fellow he was. His wife watched us from behind the kitchen door. I wondered whether she had observed any difference in the way I ate rice, drank water, or cleaned the floor after the meal. Now the lady, she was quite curious to see this man who is belonging to some other religion. So she was standing beside the kitchen door and looking continuously at APJ. And APJ was thinking that perhaps he might be trying to observe any difference in the way he was having his food, or maybe drinking water, or maybe thereafter he cleaned the kitchen floor. Such a nice fellow. When I was leaving his house, Siva Subramania Iyer invited me to join him for dinner again the next weekend. Observing my hesitation, he told me not to get upset, saying once you decide to change the system, such problems, such problems have to be confronted. So the lady was actually watching him and she did not find any difference. That's why APJ wants to highlight that religion does not matter, it does not change the way in which a person eats food, or maybe our way of prayer can be different, but we all are human beings, same human body, same organs, same eyes, and same emotion. We all are having same emotion, no? So that's fine. Now, when APJ was about to leave Siva Subramania Iyer's house, he invited him for dinner once again. So the teacher saw that the APJ was maybe a little, you can say, doubtful. Okay, he observed his hesitation. So what did he do? He asked him not to be upset. Rather, he added, what is the line? Look at this line. Once you decide to change the system, such problems have to be confronted. Confronted means faced and then tackled. That if you, कहते हैं ना, I still remember Mahatma Gandhi called, be the change what you want in you, bring a change in you, then only you can change the world. So first of all, you change yourself, then take the decision. Yes, I want to change the system. And thereafter, whenever you will feel any kind of problems, then don't worry. These are the small problems which will come before you, but you know how to tackle it, how to face it. So he simply said that once you have decided to change the system, you have to go against the norms of the society. You have to be strong, brave, and then you have to confront the situation. You have to face the situation. You have to tackle the situation. When I visited his house the next week, Siva Subramania's Iyer's wife took me inside her kitchen and served me food with his own hands. See, the change occurred. Wow, what a nice thing happened. As the teacher had predicted, the change occurred. Why? Because when he visited his house the next week, what he noticed? That his wife, she herself took him inside the home and asked him to sit in the kitchen, and she herself served the food to him. So perhaps the lady would have observed, the lady would have realized that how mean she has been to a child. Doesn't matter which caste, whichever religion you are following, that is your own faith. One's faith is one's own. Okay, maybe I have seen people that even though they are born in Christian family, but when they become adult, they have started observing other religion. Okay, they became Buddhist or they became, so it's up to you. One's faith is one's own. You cannot, nobody can claim you, but there should be no difference in human being. So the change came, and this was the very first indication, very positive. Then the Second World War was over and India's freedom was imminent. Imminent means about to happen, immediately, close, immediate se hai, imminent. So then the Second World was over ho gaya, India freedom was very close, okay, imminent. Indians will build their own India, declared Gandhiji. Obviously, there was a new announcement was made. Our great Gandhiji, Mahatma Gandhi, father of nation, he played a very important and crucial part in India's freedom struggle. So he simply said that now India would build their own India. You know why? Because he knew that now these Britishers, whatever they have spoiled, this entire reign is over. Okay, and now Indians know their worth. We all are intelligent. So the whole country was filled with an unprecedented, means unparalleled new optimism. Optimism means hope. So the entire country was filled with hope, happiness, optimism. Everyone was experiencing such a feeling which they had never felt before. Everyone was hoping that now they would get their freedom, now they will be able to build their own nation, and things will really, really change. Then country will move ahead. I asked my father for permission to leave Rameshwaram and study at the district headquarters in Ramanathapuram. Now Rameshwaram was a small place, and now people have realized that APJ had special qualities. So he asked his father to allow him to go to Ramanathapuram, which was actually the district headquarters for higher studies. Okay. In reply, now what happened? Whether his father allowed, obviously father was knowing the quality of his son. See, very important. He told me as if thinking aloud, Abul, I know you have to go away to grow. Does the seagull not fly across the sun alone and without a nest? He quoted Khalil Gibran, to my hesitant mother, your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. Now listen, what happened? So when he asked his father that please allow me to, that I want to go for higher studies, then father looked at him. He was knowing, father was knowing that APJ needed to go away so that he could move ahead in life. And then he also quoted one example of seagulls. Seagulls are long, fast, prey birds basically, and they can fly for many, many hours. Very strong ocean sea birds they are. So see, the name is also seagull. So he says that seagull which flies away in the sky all alone and does not have a nest. It means it does not have a home of its own as it keeps on flying from one place to another. What does it mean? That means now the time has come. You too have your own wings. So now you will go away without home and you will fly as much as you want to fly in your life. Means as much as you want to reach up to the zenith you can. And see what happened. He became the president, #1 man of this country. कहाँ से fly किया, कितना fly किया? So sky is for you. I also used to say, your parents might be telling you also that soar high, fly high, sky is all yours. पूरा आकाश तुम्हारा है, आसमान तुम्हारा है बच्चे. Okay, you don't need all the time a nest. So whatever you want to do, you can do. You have the quality and great determination, only you need it. So अब यहाँ पे उन्होंने he quoted Khalil Gibran's, what was Khalil. Obviously, when mother came to know, she was quite hesitant, little hesitation. How my child will go? Mothers are so protective. Mothers are so compassionate. So mother also. So when APJ mother came to know that he was about to leave home and wanted to go to Ramanathapuram for higher studies, she got upset, little suspicious also. Now, his father tried to calm her down and told her a few lines from a famous poem titled Your Children, written by Khalil Gibran. Now, Khalil Gibran, who was he? He was a famous poet and godfather, one of his very famous books. From there, he quoted these words. He said that your children are not your children. Maybe they have come through you. Mother, she is carrying a baby in her womb. So this is only a way by which you can come to this earth. So, but they are the children of life. Okay. And don't think that you can rule your children. So any parent, if they feel that, okay, they can guide their children, maybe parents can guide you, but not rule you. They are a result of life's desire for itself. Means they too have desire for themselves. Okay, they have their own thoughts. So he asked her to give them freedom to fulfill their thoughts. Children are born in a family through a mother and father. That is okay, a biological process. But apart from that, a child is meant to do something very great in his life. That's why he is not being asked to remain confined in a dream or a life which is the protective environment which their parents wanted to give them. Rather, they have dreams, desire, aspirations, and let we, as a parent, we should always provide an asman, just sky, to their children so that the children can fly high. That APJ's parents did, and we all know what happened. How that man, he became engineer, missile man, and not only that, finally the president of a big democratic country like India. He never looked back. Whatever he did, that was only for the sake of the country. His life is, we all know, an example for all of us. So his parents, basically, they had trust in him, and he also kept the parents' trust. He was not a spoiled. He left that place. So when that line Khalil Gibran's poem "Your Children" was quoted, mother also agreed, and children could not be dominated by their parents' dream because they have their own thoughts. They did not belong to me, you. One very line that they come through you, but not from you. Okay, and you may give them your love but not your thoughts. Okay, so he said that yeah, you cannot change their way of obviously you have to shape up them. So they have their own desire, they have their own thought, and that is why he asked her, the father asked mother to give him the freedom to fulfill his thoughts, and that he did. And what he is now we all know. So in this manner, this is a very small extract from Wings of Fire, his autobiography. But after reading this, definitely you will be quite inquisitive to know more about his life. For that, my dear children, which is not possible to teach you the entire novel in the class, I will definitely suggest you go and buy this book and do read the entire story of his life. Okay.